Well, CNN legal analyst and criminal defense attorney Philip Holloway with us now. So thank you for being with us.
Great to be here.
We appreciate it. When we look at this, we think a lot of people are saying, wait a minute, Jared Fogle actually had sex with minors and he only got 15 years. This guy gets 27. What's the discrepancy? How does that happen?
Well, the difference is who's the more culpable party. And in this particular case, Taylor was he was creating the pornography. He was the one actually manufacturing it. He was doing the filming of these minors. Some of them were his relatives. Ugh. Okay, so if you balance things out in terms of, say, morality, you could make the argument that that is much worse than having consensual sex, albeit with a 17-year-old in a hotel in New York. By the way, under state law in New York, 17 years old is the age of consent. Okay. So the only thing that made that illegal is that he crossed state lines for purposes of having sex with someone under 18.
Well, so Taylor paints Fogle as kind of the mastermind behind this whole thing, you know, saying he ordered me to do it, he controlled me, he basically owned the house that I lived in. Yeah. He's almost trying to make it sound as though he was forced to do all of this.
Sure,
it didn't fly.
What he's trying to do is he's trying to throw Fogle under the bus. Of course, he's already locked away in prison for a long time, and it's going to be a decade and a half before he gets out. He's trying to make it look like Fogle is the more culpable party, therefore he should receive a lesser sentence. So this is all self-serving argument designed to decrease his sentence. Of course, the judge didn't buy into it. The judge focused on the fact that this was the person who was creating the child pornography, that was setting up hidden cameras in his home, filming young children, his own relatives even, in various states of undress and things like that, and sharing it with Fogle. Fogle didn't produce the pornography. He simply possessed it. That's bad enough, but making it is much worse, Christy.
That's a great clarifier there. There were these court documents as well where apparently Taylor says that Fogle asked him to get roofies in order to drug some of these girls. But that, I mean, that never came into play. Did that just was that disregarded? How did that happen? That there were no charges brought?
Yeah, it never really panned out, and we know that he was cooperating with the Fogle investigation. So either he threw it out for the first time in court yesterday, or he has already explained it to law enforcement while he was cooperating with the Fogle investigation. Presumably, it's something they've already vetted. Maybe they decided they couldn't prove that part of the case. In any event, it's sort of just baked into the cake, so to speak, with regard to both of them. There's not going to be any further prosecution of either one of these. These cases are over. The sentences are in place, and that's going to be it for both of them.
So Jared Fogle got 15 years, but he's eligible for parole in 13. Based on what you know of this, do you think that parole would be an option for him 13 years from now? Is that dependent on how he acts in prison?
In the federal system, Christy, there is very little by way of meaningful parole. So you're going to serve 90–95% of your time on any sentence in the federal system. And the same is going to be true for the co-defendant in the case. So they're both going to serve all, if not most, of their time. If he's eligible at 15 years or 13 years, maybe he gets out, maybe he doesn't. But in any event, they're both going to serve almost all of their sentences.
All right. We so appreciate you breaking this down for us.
I'm happy to be here anytime. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Bet.
Melissa?